Men of Reddit, what is something we can all agree on? Being able to pee anywhere and easily is awesome and thankfully time efficient. Until you get a public urination ticket for peeing in an alley by a Thai restaurant. Seriously, officer, it was pitch black, and unless you were looking for my wiener you wouldn't have seen it. My uncle's a retired law professor and he used to tell a story about a guy being arrested and charged with indecent exposure after a police officer saw him acting shady, shined his light on him, and realized he was pissing in public. But he defended himself by claiming that if the officer had to shine his light on him to see what he was going on, then he wasn't exposing himself indecently or otherwise. The judge agreed. Case dismissed. If you see a bro with his zipper down, it's common courtesy to tell him quietly, unless he's a true bro and you're out with true brothers, in which case it's acceptable to loudly point it out. Edit, yes, you can zip it up for them. Just give it a goodnight kiss first. If you really wanna be a true bro, zip that shit up for him. Do not break eye contact, and a slight smirk is acceptable. For bonus points, quietly say sorry, forgot this as you do it. For maximum points, loudly say sorry, forgot this as you do it. Do it in a theatrical whisper, and wink suggestively at any other brothers who are currently with you. There is something incredibly relieving about taking that awkward lunge to the side to unstick your balls. The worst are people who try to shame you for it. I didn't choose my saggy, moist physiology. Saggy, moist physiology. My 12-year-old son is looking for a name for his new band. Women dropping hints will forever be mostly unnoticed. Oh, you'll love this one. So a family friend and I walked to my house after school like we always did. She would chill at our place until her dad picked her up after work. This day, however, was one of the days where it was just me and her. My sister had something to do, don't really remember what. So we have a little snack, and then she tells me she wants to watch Friends with Benefits. Immediately I think the *UCK. Okay, I guess we can watch it again. I agree, and we pop it in. Before the movie starts I made a joke about getting comfy for the movie, and she responds by sitting on top of me for a few seconds. She gets up, and she sits off by herself. The movie plays on and at some point we start horsing around with pillows and whatnot. It eventually leads to me tickling the shit out of her, and it tires us out. She does this weird thing where she looked at me for a secretary, and she settles her head back on the couch, and closes her eyes. She seemed so relaxed, and it trips me up, so I don't really know what to do. I ask her, what are you doing? To which she responds, I'm just laying here, man. I get really confused and conflicted, so I just sit next to her, not really sure of what I could/should do. Nothing happened. We watch the movie, her dad comes to get her about an hour and a half later, and I sit there thinking I'm the biggest idiot that ever lived. Feels bad, man. Pinch and roll is a great sack scratching technique. God damn it, yes. An alternative is the downward back nail skin stretch scratch. We'll post diagrams if necessary. Edit, I leave this alone for a few hours, and look what happens. I'm not able to draw a picture and post it, so I'll explain it the way I explained it to my wife. Imagine there is a towel on a hardwood floor. The towel is attached to the floor at one end. If you were to scratch it the same way you scratch your arm or leg, that is a back and forth motion, the towel would stay attached to your fingers and slide around on the floor. Instead, if you push the towel away from the attached end, the backs, or tops, of your fingernails will keep the towel taut as you scratch. Hence, downward back nail skin stretch scratch, which I have learned while reading the comments, is called the rake. I feel, however, that this name is erroneous as a rake pulls leaves towards you, while the aforementioned scratching technique requires you to push the skin away from you in order to remain taut and not slide all over your jumbles. As such, I submit the term be changed to the reverse rake. That we all hate the guy who violates the urinal code. Is it normal for grown SS men at an office to pull their pants down below their SS just to take a piss? Is it just me or this the most ridiculous thing I've seen since Hershey Park with 5-year-olds? I've seen this a half dozen times or so, and it strikes me as unnecessary to say the least. Far be it for me to walk up to another man with their *ICK in hand and say you're doing it wrong. Every man will wince when they see another guy get hit in the balls. Edit. 51. No matter what it is somebody's fetish. No exceptions. Yes, I know ball busting is a fetish. Everything is someone's fetish. Edit. Well shit. Thanks for making my top comment about being kicked in the balls. Almost always follows by an involuntary ooh sound. It's like a reflex when seeing another dude get hit there. A fellow will remember a lot of things you wouldn't think he'd remember. You take me. One day, back in 1896, I was crossing over to Jersey on the ferry, and as we pulled out, there was another ferry pulling in, and on it there was a girl waiting to get off. A white dress she had on. She was carrying a white parasol. I only saw her for 1 second. She didn't see me at all, but I'll bet a month hasn't gone by since that I haven't thought of that girl. Mr. Bernstein, Citizen Kane. Every guy has a girl like this in their life. Edit. Thanks for sharing all of your stories. I've read each and every one of them. It's great that we give a lot more compliments than we receive. If somebody compliments me, I'm replaying that in my head all day. I even remember compliments from years ago. Thanks for telling me I was a good drawer in 3rd grade. Girl from my art class. My first flight ever was from Arizona to London. Upon arrival I went to Camden to get a few pints. Was called a good cunt by a dying Irishman on his trip down memory lane before the leukemia killed him. I'll never forget that compliment, or that old man. Hope he's resting in peace now. Edit. Wow. I didn't expect this to take off in such a way. I feel fortunate to have been able to share this story with you all. Also, thank you to the kind stranger who gilded me. My first time ever. I'm happy it happened with this comment. Edit 2. Here is a picture of us all. He even introduced me to Quinn, the owner of the bar. Unfortunately it looks like Quinn passed away earlier this year at the age of 94. I knew they were good guys, but it appears Quinn was very well liked in the community. Article about Quinn. Attacking someone in the groin is only for life or death situations. A nutshot is not to be used lightly in a fight. What's amazing to me is that this seems almost instinctive. I've witnessed countless bar brawls and where guys were seriously injured each other to the point of getting permanent brain damage, and yet the knee to the groin move is almost never used. Because once that line is crossed there is no going back. It's what separates us from the animals. Pretty sure I've never seen an antelope nail a cheetah in the radulars either, come to think of it. That guy you met once and got along with will always be your mate, even if you never see each other again. There's a guy, Eric I think, met him at a party when he told someone to get off my motorcycle. I just gave him a nod and said good looking out. 2 months later in a bar, this *SHO** grabs my friend's tit. I stand toe to toe with this big *CKER and start screaming at him, and I look to my left, and who's standing there ready to jump in? Eric. Bouncers bounce the *SHO**. We got some beers. Haven't seen him since, but if I see him about to jump on someone, I'll be right behind. That peeing with morning wood is a hassle. Edit. The fact that this is my top ever comment, and there are about a gazillion suggestions about ways to remedy this kind of proves my original point. Edit #2. Everyone suggesting peeing in the shower/tub. Edit #3. As well, we all share the need to give our manly advice, though we all know good and well that we have all tried all of these things. Take my word for it. There will come a day when you miss these. This is top 10 saddest things I have ever read. You won't believe number 4. A nod downwards is acknowledgement. A nod upwards is to get your attention. No, a downward nod is a greeting to a stranger. Usually a curt, quick nod. An upward nod is a greeting for friends. Usually, a longer, more emphasized nod with upward eyebrow movement. You all just did both. Edit. Thanks for the gold. Stay scratching nodding. Get out my head you witch.